Hello and welcome back to the Daily Mentor Message. I'm going to be a little serious. In fact, I'm going to be very serious today. And I'm going to call you out and challenge you to search your soul. Search your soul for what matters to you, what means something to you, what makes your heart feel comfortable and gives you joy and gives you peace. Those are the things you should lean into. And you should avoid leaning into the things that scare you or that cause you to question yourself or to question anything that is good and joyful and creator of peace. Because we're living in a time right now where we are being manipulated at scale. And you don't have to look around long to see it, but most of you or most people who don't see it simply don't want to see it because they're unwilling to deal with the consequences of what goes against what they may have formerly thought. So I'm going to challenge all of you to swim upstream. Open your eyes and your ears and your mind. Educate yourself, overcome your ignorance. And if you're beyond that and you're apathetic already and you're just like, I don't care, whatever happens, happens, let me invite you to get your heart back into the game. Because right now, whatever happens, happens could be a death sentence for our entire country and our world. And I'm going to share a story from my early 20s. I think I was about 22 to 23 years old. And I was at a concert with friends. And we were seeing the band In Excess at a venue called Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California. We had lawn seats. We were all just probably 8 of us sitting on a blanket, enjoying the day and waiting for the headline band, which was In Excess, to come out. And we all were comfortable sitting on our blankets. And it was just a really cool, happy environment. And the 2 previous bands, none of us stood up. We just sat there and we watched the concert from our blanket in a sitting position, just, talking, socializing, having some fellowship. And then, because In Excess was the headline band, everybody started to stand up. And when they stood up, we couldn't see the stage anymore. And we started talking about it and kind of grumbling about it. And I made a bet. I said, I bet you I can get everybody to sit down. And we're talking thousands of people. Shoreline Amphitheater is a place that holds 20,000 people. And there was people in the seats. And then we were on the very large lawn section because we wanted to kick back on our blanket and just stretch out and chill and have fun and listen to some great music. And they bet me $20 I couldn't. And I took the challenge on. And I said, all right. And I got up and I proceeded to literally get the entire hill of people, we're talking thousands of people, to sit down. And I did it very simply. I didn't threaten them with my power and my authority or my brute force because I didn't have it. I just simply educated them, gave them the opportunity to participate in a win-win situation. And I asked them to sit down. But I have to admit, I was deceptive because at the time, I was just getting familiar with an alcoholic drink called kamikaze, which is, in full transparency, it's vodka and lime juice. It was my introduction to it, and I was feeling the liquid courage from the kamikazes that I had been drinking with my friends in the sun, in a great environment, listening to some great music, and otherwise just having a grand old time. And so it only took me probably 10 minutes to get the entire hill to sit down. And you may ask, how did you do it? Well, I did it with a happy face, a simple request, and the opportunity to, with confidence and with certainty and with authority, borrowed authority because I did not actually have the authority that I was wielding. And I gave people the opportunity who questioned me, who fought back, who gave me any pushback or resistance, but I calmly, assertively, authoritatively gave them a win-win opportunity. But it was completely and totally deceptive and let me share with you what it was. And before I do that, I want to talk to you about why this matters, why this topic matters. Because I'm reading again a book I've read before called The Psychology of Persuasion. And the subtitle is How to Persuade Others to Your Way of Thinking. And in the book, Kevin Hogan says this, and this is a key. Write this down. He says in his book, it is very hard to learn about anything when the definitions of the terms being used are unclear. In other words, when people are using language and words that make you feel stupid because you don't know what they mean and you don't know the impact or the significance or the strength or the authority of what they're saying. In other words, the meaning of the terms is unclear. You are easily controlled. Easily controlled. And I'm going to share with you what I mean by that. And so this book, and the author of the book clearly states in here, these principles can be used for good or evil. Do not use them for evil because they are very powerful tools. And they are confidence and certainty, passion, empowering yourself with knowledge, and literally turning yourself on to give people information that is persuasive, there's a win-win situation, and people will pretty much do anything you ask them to do. So on this day, I got up, and so this venue in Northern California, Mountain View, California, was called Shoreline Amphitheater, and it was largely funded by a gentleman by the name of Bill Graham, who was a very, very large concert promoter. In fact, almost every concert in the San Francisco Bay Area was put on by Bill Graham Presents. Bill Graham Presents. He was just almost, I would say he was almost a monopoly in this area, but very well known and very highly respected and a great guy. And he put on this concert. So I got up and just told people that if they don't sit down, the band isn't going to come out. Because it's very important to the band that every one of their fans has a wonderful experience. And if you guys are standing up, you're blocking all the people that want to sit down and have fun. You can still see the concert from sitting down. In fact, relax and listen to the concert without obstructing someone else's view. But if you guys don't sit down, the band is literally not going to come out. And people would say, well, who are you? And I'm saying this with a smile on my face. And I say, my name is Chad Graham. I'm Bill Graham's nephew. In fact, and so please sit down. And they're like, and they still didn't do it. I said, okay, look, here's the deal. And I would turn them around. I would point to the stage. So in this venue, there's the stage, and there was a little door off to the side of the stage with a light above it, like a porch light. I said, see that light right there? See that door? That's the backstage door. If you want backstage passes after the show, you want to get backstage to meet the band, sit down and go to that door, knock on the door. And when they answer the door, tell them Chad sent you. And I say, well, who are you? I told you, I'm Chad Graham. Who's that? I'm Bill Graham's nephew. Who's Bill Graham? Pull out your ticket stub. They pull out their ticket stub, and it's like, look what it says on your ticket stub. Bill Graham Presents. That's my uncle. He basically owns this place. If you want to get backstage passes, meet me at that door after the show, but please sit down or the band's not going to come out. I only had maybe 5 encounters like that. And once they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to get backstage passes. And then they sat down, and I go to the next blanket of people. They started to sit down. And then it probably only took maybe not even 10% of the people that I was telling to sit down. When they sat down, the whole rest of the hill sat down, because everybody does what everybody does. I only talked to one side. I was going to migrate. I was going to do whatever it took because we had $20 on the line. But the power of persuasion, I was certain in what I was talking about. I was claiming authority that I did not have. And I was excited and fired up and offering these people a win-win situation. Now, I only had to offer like 5 people or 5 groups of people the backstage passes, which I did not have the authority to give. My name is not Chad Graham. And then they said, and I said, when you knock on the door, if they ask for the password, it's G. That's my middle initial, G, for golden. Because I threw some satire in there. Golden Grams was a cereal back then. So in my kamikaze-induced, artificial authority, liquid courage, I started making fun of it and having a little fun. Yeah, if they ask you what the password is, tell them it's G. That's my middle initial, G. What's your middle name? Golden. And no one said, you mean like Golden Graham? No one said it. And I'm laughing in my head, the fact that nobody said it. But that's the entire point. The power of persuasion can be used positively, and it can be used very negatively, as I was thinking positive. I was having fun. Before the concert was over and everybody was standing up after the show, once the show started, went, and there was like the encore. I made my way to the car because I didn't want anybody to see me and go, hey, where were the tickets, right? Because by that time, the courage had worn off. But the bottom line was I got the entire hill to sit down. I won the $20 and life was good. But it was deceptive persuasion. So you can't look around long and tell me, or you don't have to look around long to realize there is a ton of deceptive persuasion going on right now. Like the people who want to silence your voice, censorship, for example. We live in America, people. We have the freedom of speech, which is being censored and scrutinized and silenced every single day. We are moving in such the wrong direction that if we don't get a hold of this now and preserve our right to say what we want, when we want, whenever we want, to whomever we want, and have it be protected, we will lose it forever. They're already talking about changing the Constitution. They're already censoring everyone, and they're gaslighting you for questioning. Do not question authority. They're gaslighting, they're shaming you. They're convicting you and indicting you when you use your God-given right to speak your mind. It's not a privilege. It's a right to speak our mind. It's called freedom of speech. It's an amendment to our Constitution, but we may very well lose it by gaslighting and authority. I would say disinformation and people abusing their authority, like I did, getting people to sit down on that grassy knoll that day. So the key here is utilize your authority for good and stand up, swim upstream, people. Open your eyes and your ears and your mind and speak boldly and stand boldly for what you believe in. Now, I'm not telling you to get on a soapbox that you're just parroting someone else's words, because that's what lots of people do. Those are the people that are swimming downstream. Swim upstream if you want something different, because there's so many people that are just regurgitating what they're being told without questioning it, without deep diving into it, without even asking, is it true or not? And when the media is all saying the same thing, people believe it. How do I know that? Because millions of people rolled up their sleeves and took a vaccine that had zero testing, relatively zero testing, and tons of the testing showed negative side effects, and they're still doing it. And they're still telling you to roll up your sleeves and your children's sleeves and put on a mask and be quiet. Do not question authority for fear of you'll be indicted, you'll be prosecuted. That's not the America that I know, my friends. That's not the America of we the people. So we need to stand up. We need to, one, realize that your silence could cost you your silence, or could force you into silence. Your silence now could force you into silence forever. Do not let someone else do that to you while we live in a free America. Stop the gaslighting. Ignore it. Forget it. Throw it back. No, thank you. That doesn't apply to me. I'm going to stand on what I believe in, because the psychology of persuasion is real. When you don't know terms people are talking about, learn them. So you're no longer ignorant. When you are ignorant, you can be controlled. When you've been ignorant for so long that you're apathetic, you just throw your hands up. Whatever happens, happens. You are so easy to control. And that's what they're trying to do for you right now and do to you right now. Do not let that happen. Boldly speak your voice. Boldly dive deep into the elements and the nuances of the information you need to be not ignorant anymore, but educated on the topic, so you can speak intelligently about it, so you can educate somebody about it, and they can be educating you. Every person who's educated should be also open to be re-educated or additionally educated on another side of the topic and another or a different point of view. We should all do that. So I invite you to do that. But swim upstream, my friends. Keep your eyes, ears, and hearts and minds open to new knowledge, to empower you, to know what you know what you stand for, own your beliefs, own your priorities, own your ethics, own your morals, and stand for them. And anyone who tries to take them away or tell you you're wrong for having them, they have the right. They have the right to have their opinion, but have an intelligent discussion. Why do you feel that way? And why do you feel that I'm wrong? Why do you feel that you're right and I'm wrong? You may learn something from each other, but I guarantee you, most people who will have the gall to tell you you're wrong don't have any ammunition to back it up. They're going by what the media tells them. And it's like, why am I wrong? Tell me, why are you thinking this way? Well, they'll say many reasons. Name one. And then you get the silent treatment. And then they walk away like they're triggered or offended. That's the sign. That kind of behavior is someone who does not have authority. They have borrowed authority, and they're allowing their own silence to be permanent if they don't stand up. All right, my friends, thank you so much. Told you I'd be bold. Do whatever you want with this, but realize the psychology of persuasion can be good and it can be bad. Only operate it in good for righteous reasons, and learn. If you don't understand something, learn it so you can have an intelligent conversation about it and speak your mind boldly. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and God bless.